is a normal sacral joint X-ray. These are the sacroiliac joints over here. And as you can see, there is space between the two bones here, which is known as the joint. So there should be a space over here, and there are no erosions or sclerosis seen, which I'll go through what that is later. So bone erosion refers to a break in the bone, that's what I showed earlier. Whereas sclerosis refers to an increase in the density and hardening of bone, which is reflective of the new bone formation, like what occurs in the spine fusion. So with joint inflammation, the bone is first eroded away, but as the body tries to heal, new bone is formed in spondyloarthritis, resulting in sclerosis, the new bone formation, which may eventually result in fusion of the joint, and meaning that there's no space at all between the bones. So these are X-rays of the sacroiliac joints, showing from this diagram moving to A to D, showing mild changes and then severe changes. So figure A just shows suspicious changes which may not, which is not able to use to be defined ankylosing spondylitis, but it may be seen in non-radiographic axial spondyloarthritis, as it is not diagnostic of ankylosing spondylitis, as per what we discussed in the modified New York criteria that we discussed earlier. This figure B shows a little bit of a very minimal abnormality along with small areas of erosions or sclerosis, but there's no change in the width of the joint. This next figure shows that there's erosions and sclerosis again with joint space narrowing, so you don't see the space as well as you see in this over here. And some parts of the joint have what we call ankylose, where they are fused together. And in figure D, there's a complete ankylosis of the sacroiliac joints. There's no space at all that we can see. Okay, so just a slide on sacroiliitis on MRI and sacroiliitis on CT. So again, as we move from the left to the right, from the above row to the below row here, and from here to here, you can see increasing severity of the sacroiliac joint. So this is what we call sclerosis, or sometimes known as also, or what they also call bone marrow edema, which is sort of like fluid that we can see in the area around the sacroiliac joints. Here, and here is the CT scan. So you can also see here the joint spaces are seen very nicely, and the bones here are very regular. But as we move here, we can see that there's some increased width of the bone here, and then the joint space is narrowed here, and in this part, totally don't see any space at all. There's complete loss of joint space and ankylosis. So in the spine, the body of the vertebra is the bony part of the spine, and there's this which is a water-filled component in between two bodies of the vertebra bones. So in AS, there's inflammation of the joints at this area, and then subsequently over time, as the body tries to heal, new bone is formed, and this causes the vertebrae and other bones and joints to fuse together. And this may result in the spine becoming stiff and immobile. So this is like what we consider very like severe ankylosing spondylitis, where there's this thing called the bamboo spine. So this is a normal X-ray. You can see that between the vertebra there is space here because the discs don't show up on the X-ray. And similarly here you can see the space in between the bones. However, in ankylosing spondylitis, there's formation of new bone, which is also known as syndesmophytes. And this causes there to be a loss of space in the bones to be fused together. And some have coined this term as the bamboo spine. And also over here, you can also see that there's no more space between the vertebra, and there's new bone that is formed here with the arrows. But similarly, as with people with non-radiographic spondyloarthritis, not many do not go on to develop ankylosing spondylitis, and also many people with ankylosing spondylitis do not advance to bamboo spine.